every time a game happens in the WNBA, somebody's getting abused, somebody getting beaten, somebody is getting hurt, man. Somebody is getting hurt every game in the WNBA, and they just fail to realize this, fail to have any protocols on stopping the nonsense, man. My God. Boom! Right there. Oh, my goodness. Boom! Right in the face, man. Right in the face. Now, like I stated, I get it. You might be mad that Lexie put her hand on your forehead. But fam, there is no reason for you to be throwing elbows to somebody's face like that. Come on, man. Throwing elbows to the face.
That's the sound of an assault. Let's not call it anything else. That is the sound of a player being brutally targeted, of an elbow being thrown with what looks like pure malice. Lexie Hull took a shot to the face that could have ended her season, a blow that left her crumpled on the hardwood in agony, and the referees, in a display of corruption or incompetence that has become the new WNBA standard, initially blamed her for it. But that's not the real story here. The corruption of the officials is a given at this point. The real story, the one they don't want you to see, is the betrayal that happened seconds later. While Lexie Hull was on the floor, clutching her jaw, her own teammates did the unthinkable. They did nothing. They stood there, motionless, and watched her suffer alone. Tonight, we're not just talking about a dirty hit. We're exposing a devastating betrayal from within a team that is completely falling apart at the seams. We're going to show you the evidence that proves the Indiana Fever locker room is broken, and ask the one question no one else has the guts to. Why did they abandon her? To understand the depth of this betrayal, you first have to understand the nightmare the Indiana Fever were already living. This wasn't just another game for them. It was a desperate fight for survival. This is a team that has been systematically dismantled by a plague of injuries that feels less like bad luck and more like a targeted campaign. Caitlin Clark, the generational talent meant to lead them, has been sidelined for over a month with a mysterious groin injury. Sophie Cunningham, the team's heart and soul, is gone for the season with an MCL tear. Sydney Colson, torn ACL, season over. Ari McDonald, fractured foot, season over. The list is so brutal it reads like a hit list. They are a walking MASH unit, relying on hardship contracts and players who are exhausted, playing impossible minutes because there is simply no one left.
Lexie, did you come into tonight kind of expecting to play darn near the whole game just with the injury situation and then the personnel available?
Damn, you played 37 minutes.
I mean, you played a lot too, Kels. When did you play? 35. I mean, yeah, we're down people, so gotta suck it up, play a little tired a few minutes, and take in those timeouts as best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're down people.
We're down people, so gotta suck it up. That's the sound of desperation. That's the mindset of a team on its last legs, held together by sheer will. They entered that game against Minnesota, knowing they had to be perfect, that they had to fight for every single inch, because they had no margin for error and no one coming to save them. They were already in a war, and into that war zone stepped Kayla McBride, who decided to throw a grenade. The play itself was disgusting. As Lexie Hull battled for position, McBride swung a vicious elbow that connected squarely with Hull's jaw, snapping her head back and sending her crashing to the floor. The contact was violent, unnecessary, and as many analysts have pointed out, it looked completely intentional.
This was intentional. Now, if it wasn't intentional, okay, give it a flagrant one. I understand it. She wasn't trying to do it. Cool. But this was intentional. All right? She had malice on the heart with this one. Bad intentions. Okay? She was trying to wreck some stuff up there doing this one. Hey, let's just keep it a grand, man. Let's just keep it a grand. Kayla McBride was trying to knock Lexie right on her booty cheeks, but she succeeded at, fam. Knocked her clean out. Look at this. Knocked her clean out, man. Oh my goodness. I mean, folded. Look at how her legs are folded right here. Come on, man. Knocking her clean out right here. That was bad intentions, dog. That was bad intentions. I don't care what anybody say, man. That was bad intentions, man. And the refs have to do something about it. You have to make sure that players don't feel comfortable getting out of pocket and doing things like that.
She had malice on the heart with this bad intentions. You can see it on the replay. McBride was already free. The swing was extra. It was a message. In a league where the Fever have been physically targeted all season, this was the ugliest punctuation mark yet, and the refs, as expected, sided with the aggressor. A slap on the wrist that felt more like an approval than a punishment. But this is where the story turns. This is where it goes from a story of league corruption to a story of internal collapse. As Hull lay on the ground, the camera pans out, and what you see is unforgivable. Two of her teammates, Aliyah Boston and Natasha Howard, are standing just feet away. They see what happened. They see their teammate is hurt, and they do nothing. They don't run over, they don't confront McBride, they don't even motion for the trainers. They just stand there, hands on their hips, watching. It's one of the most shocking moments of inaction you will ever see on a basketball court. The betrayal is so blatant, so cold, that fans watching at home couldn't believe their eyes. The internet erupted in fury. Lexie Hull's teammates do absolutely nothing as she is viciously elbowed, one user posted. Another wrote, "Lexie Hull, I'm sorry, but your Indiana Fever teammates are absolutely useless. This wasn't just a missed opportunity to stand up for a teammate. This was a statement. This was a white flag. This was the visual evidence of a team that has lost its soul." And it leads to a critical question. Would this have happened if Sophie Cunningham was on the floor? Fans don't think so. "I miss Sophie," one comment read. "We don't have an enforcer anymore." They're right. Cunningham had established herself as the team's protector, the one player who would not let opponents take liberties with her teammates. Her season-ending injury wasn't just a loss of talent, it was the loss of the team's backbone. Without her, there is no one left to fight back. The bullies know it, and they are taking full advantage. What does this say about the leadership of this team? What does it say about Aliyah Boston, the former #1 pick, the supposed cornerstone of the franchise? In that moment, her team needed a leader, her teammate needed a protector, and she was a statue. This silence, this inaction, is deafening. It speaks to a rot that has set in, a culture of defeat that has been festering under the surface. This team isn't just physically broken by injuries, it's emotionally and spiritually broken. Even Coach Stephanie White seems to be fighting this battle alone. She is the most fined coach in the league for a reason. She's the only one consistently calling out the WNBA's corrupt officiating. She's screamed about the double standard in how her team is treated. She has called Aliyah Boston the worst officiated post player in the league. She has publicly stated that the disrespect for our team has been pretty unbelievable. But her fire doesn't seem to be catching on with her players. She's trying to hold the line while her own team appears to have surrendered.
We've had 3 players in the last I don't know how many days, and 2 of those players are point guards, so not really. But you know, at the same time, our ability to make plays out of what we have, right? I think a lot of our spacing allows players to do what they do best, creates opportunities for them to be successful, and then it's just making the right reads and finding the right pass, you know, on time, on target. And some of that is with experience with your teammates, and some of that is instinct. And so we are trying to do as much as we can to put players in position to use those instincts.
The coach is talking about putting players in a position to use their instincts. But what happens when the instinct to fight is gone? What happens when a team is so beaten down by the league, by the refs, and by injuries that their only instinct left is to stand back and watch the carnage, hoping they aren't the next victim? That's not a team. That's a collection of survivors. The most heartbreaking part of this entire saga came not from the court, but from social media afterwards. It came from Lexie Hull's own mother, Aliyah Hull, who had to post a message to worried fans. She wrote, "She is okay. Sore neck and jaw, but she is okay. One tough kid that can take a hit and never complain." Read that again. Her mother had to publicly announce that her daughter survived a basketball game. She had to praise her own child's toughness because her child's teammates wouldn't defend her. This is the ultimate indictment, a mother's pain and pride filling the vacuum of leadership and loyalty left by the Indiana Fever. That post reveals the true human cost of this collapse. It's not just about wins and losses anymore. It's about the safety of the players and the soul of a team that has evaporated into thin air. So why? Why did they do it? Why did they abandon her? Was it fear? Are they so psychologically battered by the constant targeting that they are afraid to step out of line, afraid of getting a technical, a fine, or worse, becoming the next target themselves? Or is it something more sinister? Has the locker room fractured under the immense pressure, with their star player out, with their playoff hopes dangling by a single thread? Have they turned on each other? Is this evidence of a divided team that has lost all trust and cohesion? We don't know for sure. But the footage doesn't lie. The evidence of a broken culture is right there for everyone to see. This inaction, this betrayal, is confirmation of what many people were already starting to fear. This team, as it currently stands, is not built to withstand this storm. They don't have the fight, they don't have the unity, and they don't have the leadership.
This team needs Caitlin Clark to come back in the worst way. Not only if they want to save this, if they want to even play in mid to late September. This isn't a playoff team, what we're watching right now. This isn't a playoff team. This is a Kelsey Mitchell, please save us team. Kelsey Mitchell, we need 40 and 10, 40 points, 10 assists from you every night to be in the playoffs. We need a Herculean effort in the second half. We need Lexie Hull catching fire late in the fourth quarter and in overtime for this team to continue to stay in the playoffs. Kayla McBride, 13 points for Kayla McBride. Hit Lexie Hull with an elbow. Foul on Lexie Hull. Hits Lexie Hull with an elbow, foul on Lexie Hull. I don't understand.
This isn't a playoff team. When you hear that, it's no longer just about the players on the injury list. It's about the players still on the floor. A team that doesn't have each other's backs isn't a playoff team. A team that watches a teammate get assaulted and does nothing is not a playoff team. They are a ghost ship, adrift and waiting to sink. And the rest of the league can smell the blood in the water. Now a glimmer of hope has appeared on the horizon. After weeks of silence, we finally have footage of Caitlin Clark back on a basketball court. She's participating in shoot-around, she's handling the ball, she's working with her teammates again, and the world is ready to anoint her the savior. The belief is that when she comes back, everything will be fixed. Her gravity on the court will open things up, her leadership will steady the ship, and she will single-handedly drag this team into the postseason. But that's a dangerous fantasy. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal player. She is not a miracle worker. She can't heal a torn ACL. And more importantly, she can't heal a broken culture. She is returning to a war zone, and the evidence suggests her own soldiers have lost the will to fight. The question is no longer if Caitlin Clark can save the fever from their opponents and the corrupt referees. The far more terrifying question is, who is going to save Caitlin Clark from her own team? When she returns, she will have a target on her back bigger than any player in the history of this league. They will come for her. They will hit her, bump her, and test her. And when she takes that inevitable cheap shot, when she's the one lying on the floor, will Aliyah Boston and Natasha Howard rush to her side, or will they just stand there and watch, leaving another teammate abandoned on the floor?